don't mean to sound ungrateful, but we've no time for talk. Tolman was out here with me and now Piety has him. They're headed for the crematorium. I've no chance against Piety and your blackguards, but you're another matter entirely. Please, you found it in your heart to rescue me. Tolman is just as worthy of your generosity.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
Mortality is the mother of life. We have turned our backs on her.
You can't catch a shadow. That's what we honest businessmen were told when considering your services. But here you are. I call that false advertising. Well, at least you brought Clarissa back to us. That's gone part way to polishing up that tarnished reputation of yours. Problem is, undyed lover ain't much good to anyone. Like gloves, they tend to be more useful than peers. The missing glove in this case is a young fella named Tolman. See if you can finish the job, huh? Find Tolman. And I know it's not really part of your job description, but we'd like him alive, please. The slums are east of here. Used to house...
Matamor Patur thanks you, Exile, for returning our Clarissa to us. She is the gentle heart of this place, a spirit still capable of love in this wasteland of hatred. Yet that gentle heart remains in jeopardy. Tolman isn't deserving of Clarissa, but she'll not smile until he's by her side. Dominus and his Ebony Legion arrived some time ago. Now the blackguards scour Sarn like hungry maggots on a carcass. What are they looking for? Only that which is best left unfound.
Hello. You're alone. So Tolman's... You didn't go to the crematorium? No, of course you didn't. This isn't your fight. I'm sorry. It was wrong of me to put that on you. To ask you to risk your life for someone you don't even know. Don't worry. I'll work something out.
Keep your distance, Exile. The name's Grigor, and when you've had your eyes fill of my twisted visage, how about you turn those fine jellies of yours eastward? Yes, you've brought Clarissa home to us, and once again I see she pesters me with pity. There's only so much broth, so many bouquets that a man can take. For a criminal, Clarissa has a strangely soft center. Still, I'd rather not see that heart of hers harden. See if you can find that lost boy mate of hers. With him around, Clarissa doesn't have as much time to bother me.
Death came to town. The roaring Ezomites wore red. The red of blood, the red of the fray. Death came to town. The crying Ezomites wore black. the black of disease.
The Monkey King has built his throne on your back. A throne of gold and gem, polished with blood and tear. Throw off the Monkey King and his shining privy before your back is broken.
Treat life and death with equal grace, it's said. If I were death, I'd take offense at this place.
On the night of 1,000 ribbons, our finest city burned. It burned with fires lit by cruelty and neglect. It burned with shame for giving the title of emperor to a man who did not deserve it. Allow your wisdom to be tempered by the flames of the past.
I'd question what I've become if I felt the need. I don't.
just need a moment to catch my breath.
My shadow continues to nip at my heels. Bag it and tag it, boys and girls. Do it for sight. Hold still.
Low on mana.
Do it for enough of this.
Poor Tolman. I made this bracelet for him when he first arrived here. Idiot said he'd never take it off. I called him a liar. He didn't, though. Not once. Do something. I asked a lot of you out there in the slums. More than I should have. You tried. And that's all we exiles can ever hope to do. Those keys unlock the gates to the sewers. Tolman found them. Figure that in the worst of times, people will hide their wealth in the worst of places. We were never game to test his theory. Not with the Undying down there. But you're strong. Stronger than any of us here. I don't think you need to fear the dark. Sorry, I need some more time to think. We'll talk soon, I promise.
I no longer dream when I sleep. I have a nightmare. The same nightmare over and over. The mirror. It's never my reflection looking back. The first time that mirror appeared to me, it was Cole I saw. A rapist from Oriath I had the displeasure of sharing a pen with in Gravisius' stockade. Piety took him for her experiments, and that night I saw her handiwork while I slept. This time it was Tolman, flesh dried to leather, organs shrunk to husks, blood trickling through his skeleton like red dust in an hourglass. It's Piety's gift to me, that mirror. At least I won't be seeing Clarissa the next time I look into it. Make sure it's not you I see either. I walked halfway across this forsaken continent because of an ode. Of jewels and eternity, it's called. For twinkled promises of jewels and eternity, the Gemling Queen gave her heart and body to the King of Shades for one more day in the sun. The last day in the sun. That's but a portion of the full epic. The Gemling Queen lived, and she's the enigma behind the fall of the Ezomites and the Eternals both.
Look to the Solaris Temple to the northeast. Find the Gemling Queen's remains before Piety does, and destroy them.
Tolman's dead then. Another victim of Piety's cruelty. Perhaps he escaped lightly. Look upon Grigor to see what life entails under Piety's influence. Let me offer you something. In recognition of all that you have done for us. We shall mourn Tolman's death as we shall treasure Clarissa's life. General Gravisius demands absolute obedience from his blackguards, meaning he's surrounded himself with cowards and lackwits, unable to lift a finger without orders. If you're able, traverse the river and murder Gravisius in his own barracks. He'll be ripping the very mind from the skulls of our enemies. Clarissa will weep for Tolman. She must. The cloud is darkest before the rain. Grigor straddles two worlds. One foot planted on this soil, one in the dirt of spirit and shadow. When you speak with him, be sure to know from which world his words arise. It's an often told story among the Karui, how Vol of Thebris bent his knee to my ancestor, King Calm, and promised freedom in return for war. While Vol raised his purity rebellion in the heart of the Empire, Colm took Lord Lion Eye's head and the southern coast all the way to Siren's Cove. It was the greatest conquest the Karui have ever seen. If I knew how to cross the river safely, I'd be wearing Gravisius' head on my belt.
I'll miss the boy. He was always up for a laugh, whether it was at his expense or not. But I would have missed that Clarissa more. Argan's the name, by the way. And it's my honour to welcome you to Dirty Old Sun, the metropolis of opportunity. The opportunity to make something of yourself, or the opportunity to have a very messy death. Victaria was a poet what ended up leading a rebellion, right under the nose of Emperor Chittis. But here's what really interests me. Our wordsmith was quite the talented larcenist as well. Pulled off the heist of the century, in the name of the people, of course. 3 finely crafted platinum busts, commissioned by Chittis for his favourite trio of generals. Victario and his coppers hold up in the sewers. Now that you have Clarissa's keys, perhaps you'd be inclined to search out those heroic busts for me. I'm sure I can make it well worth your while. I was Clarissa's guardian angel back in Oriath. Put food on the table in return for a bit of light work. I try to keep her out of trouble as best I can here. But Sarn's full of secrets, and Clarissa's full of curiosity. She's just so a specimen of womanhood. It's her tattoos and that fancy talk she does. Intoxicating. She's a cool one, though. I can't imagine what that poor bastard's been through. It's a miracle Grigor hasn't completely lost his mind. Granted, he's lost 1 or 2 pieces along the way, but there's still plenty that's worth listening to. Gravisius is the mailed and bloodied right hand of Dominus, and I thought the Templar were meant to be spiritual men of deepest humanity. You notice the sarcasm in my tone, right? Had to smuggle a fellow out of Theopolis once. Got a bit too friendly with Gravisius's wife, he did. Every blackguard was out on the streets looking for him, so I had to think lateral-like. We took to the drains and didn't put our heads above the pavement until we sniffed the sea. A grubby bloody job it was, but worth it for the coin he paid. You want a piece of Gravicius? Sometimes the only way up is down.
I'm no history scholar, but I know that Emperor Chitus was overthrown by Vol of Thebris in the so-called Purity Rebellion. But Vol had the shortest reign of any internal emperor. The cataclysm sort of that.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
Yet another of Oriath's cast-offs. With the problems we're facing here, I do wish they'd send someone with a little more utility. Alas, we have useless exiles blowing in like spores on the wind. Cassia, by the by. Pleasure. See this growth? Not on me, the fruiting body. The big mushroom? Strange, is it not? Wouldn't expect something of this scale in a place like this. Stands out like a sin during a sermon. Unfortunately, this is one of many, and they're all filled with an extremely toxic fluid. Quite dangerous to one's health, and no one is paying any attention. No one but I, of course. That's why I've attached this purification pump to the gleba. The spore mass. The big yellow round part. I plan to pump the toxic fluids from the mycelium, the rooty-looking parts, through the spore mass, robbing this growth of the fluids that allow it to thrive. Even if I can't find a use for it, at least it won't get into dangerous or clumsy hands. In response, the mycelium is going to react violently. This is where you enter. My Mother Superior used to tell us that God helps those who help each other. And I'm dubious of the sort of help you might provide, as it has not escaped me that you are, for lack of a better term, drenched in viscera. Even so, I have some devices we can deploy to help protect my purification pump here. When you're ready, start the pump, then choose a place along the mycelium to deploy a device. Then get yourself ready. As I expect, there'll be more viscera. Well done. Now be a good assistant and find a place to deploy a tower. Exile, are you going to his flame? The blight is reacting. Divine power. Let them reach the purification pump! For the love of innocence, protect the pump! It was I who tasked you with protecting the pump. So ultimately we know where the blame lies. Yes, it's true. You likely know her by the name High Templar. I've not... I see. God's warmth. I see you've scavenged some oils with your sticky little hands. What in God's name are you planning to do with them? Oh, don't bother answering. I don't actually care, as I have a much better use than whatever nonsense you had planned. Bring me a few phials of those oils and I'll anoint your amulet and rings, as is tradition.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
The blackguards will never stop pursuing someone they consider a traitor. I'm a danger to everyone around me and not long for this world if I can't find a place to hide. This seems like a good area to build a hideout, but it's filled with monsters. Can you clear it of everything dangerous? The blackguards will never stop pursuing someone they consider a traitor. I'm a danger to...
Not all murders are equal. Just need a moment to catch my breath.
Curious. With the death of the last monster here, the very air itself feels different. I wouldn't use the word purified, but you've definitely negated the pile over this place. I'll stay here for now and make sure nothing dangerous re-emerges. Greetings. Hello.
I write this now in hope that someone will remain. Someone may remember. The sun is an orb of blood. Twisted twilight shrouds my eye. The air reeks of anguish. San has plunged into nightmare. The man who served me coffee now writhes on the floor. He rants of visions he alone can see, as writhing red tentacles grow from his face, as if his eyes had been seeds waiting to sprout. He is quiet now, my waiter. No more cackling and screaming. Dead. Of my fellow patrons, only 2 live. The others have fallen. Their blood is everywhere. The survivors bulls and graze to the hue of necrosis. Their gems flare with unholy luster. Their eyes black as hatred. A Gemling ghoul. It twisted off a corpse's head, gnaws at skull-like dog. My head now, visions clawing at me. Thinking burns. I see Horror. Envy the mute corpses at my feet. Words flaming, flaming. All is madness.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
I need more pockets.
The Beatles poet could hide the spoils from Chitters, but not from us, eh? I knew you was the exile for the job. I'm sure you've been more than compensated already from Victario's stockpiles, but here's a little extra. Care of something I found under a dead man's bed. Why? Just because I like you.
Just need a moment to catch my breath. Just need a moment to catch my breath. Just need a moment to catch my breath. Just need a moment to catch my breath.
I need more pop.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
You are not a cockroach. Strange. Inundated with cockroaches I am. Black ones, forelimbs, nasty, spiky things. Are you spiky? If so, my ribbons will pluck your spines. Malachi liked spines. Liked my spine. Pretty spine. Bejeweled and bountiful. Enough to make an empire weep. Do you weep, not a cockroach? I do. Tears are infinite. Why, on this very day I found a new reason to cry. What is that you have? Not a cockroach. My ribbon spool. Those black ones wanted them, my ribbons. Wanted to wrap the city in black ribbons. Now they are my ribbons forevermore. Forevermore. I hate forever. I could tear happy ever after from bards' bleeding tongues. You're still here, not a cockroach. Oh. Gratitude, yes. I should give you a token. Token? What token? This? Is this to your liking? cockroaches will come again. They want the twist. That cockroach emperor. The other bugs shout his name. Revisius. Cross the river, squash the emperor cockroach in his nest. The bridge. It is barricaded. That spawns a tricky question. Questions. I asked too many questions. Chit has told me so. I asked where it all went. Our feculence. He made them show me. Under the river. The sewers from this side to that. Filthy, fetid tunnels like a rower's cloaca. A black place. Crawling with the undying. Once beautiful and arrogant gemlings. Now the foul waste of the Empire. Fitting, isn't it? Apt. I like you, not a cockroach. I like that you listen. It would annoy me if the Undying murdered you. Thaumatic sulfite, that's what you need. A nasty, nasty substance it is. Malachi had his slaves mine it. Carry it from northern mountains to the refinery by the docks. Ezamites, Marakath, Karui. It killed them all, fevered the blood and scorched the mind. But you are clever, not a cockroach. You will keep it at arm's length. You will bring it to me so that I may make you something, an infernal tulk that will bring furious light to undying darkness.
Pretty as porcelain, but her mouth spins like the potter's wheel. That's how I once described Diala. Yet on this day, my lady is as ravishing as a nightmare, radiant as the fullest moon. Diala is my Gemling Queen, and we shall rule, side by side, over the world that will soon come to be. I awoke. Feverish and barely conscious, I set to drawing these maps through the sable hours. I ached, my eyes burned, yet still I found no rest. The reverie device now stands completed. I've placed the first of my maps within its receptacle. I've taken my maiden voyage into nightmare. I know now that which sent me. It would be foolish to disappoint. Malachi. Tear down the walls that imprison the mind. That is what the gems do. That is their true virtue. The moment my fingertips brushed the cool, silken plains of that first gem, I felt it. My skull ached, as if its contents were growing, pressing against the bone, searching for a way to break free. That night, once the wine had dulled the pain enough to allow the onset of sleep, the dreams began. I have not been without them since, nor would I be. Every spark of thaumaturgy that I wield, every device that I forge, every creature that I transfigure, I owe to these lessons cloaked in nightmare. From whence do these precepts hail? Certainly not the mundane grey between my ears. I possess only one reference that bears faith, translated with unquestionable clarity by that idiot savant, Isius Perandus, the beast. Duliani of the Vow knew the truth. Soon now, so shall I. Malachi.
The Gemling Queen? She's impossible. How did she survive? Why is she not one of the Undying? No, these questions can wait. There's a more pressing one. Is she safe from the Ebony Legion? You've been busy. With the spool back where it belongs, the ribbons should be able to keep the Ebony Legion at bay. We've both seen what they can do to a man. Whether you were saving your own skin or thinking of others, it matters little to me. You succeeded where I did not. You have stood in the presence of the Gemling Queen. I can only hope to meet her in my nightmares. Maramoa's sure of herself, and that kind of surety gets you killed in Sarn. You and all those around you. Hagen's got the right idea. Don't believe in anything that you can't trade or eat. I wouldn't rely on Hagen in a fight, and I wouldn't put too much faith in what he says. But he has one highly useful asset. His obsession with self-preservation. If Hagen deems you of use in keeping his fat self alive, he'll do almost anything for you. Piety's a genius, sculpting mere human clay into divine gemlings. At least, that's what she told me when she opened me up and buried a virtue gem in my entrails. Malachi did the same in the name of the Emperor centuries ago. Chittis's gemlings still rule Sarn. We call them the Undying now. I tried to penetrate the Solaris Temple in the northeast. Almost got myself killed by the bloody ribbons that guard the place. Bizarre, floating tapestries they are. Creatures of cloth and thaumaturgy. Fortunately, a few legionnaires got in the way. While the ribbons eviscerated them, I ran straight into Gravisius. He dragged me over the bridge to the Lunaris Temple in the west and put me in Piety's tender care. Didn't say a single word to me the whole time. I was nothing but a spoil of war to him.